Hey, how's it going? I'm Luke Martirana.
And I'm Reagan Loescher. Coming up on this episode, Bret's grandfather recounts his first-hand experience with the biggest earthquake recorded in U.S. history.
And then we'll check out the newly renovated Media Center with me and Eric.
And finally, Charlie and Joe bring us up to speed with one of the biggest multiplayer games currently being played. Voorhees Now starts now.
One of the largest earthquakes ever recorded in the U.S. took place in 1964. Bret's taking us to his grandfather to hear about that tragic event in this first feature.
Bret. Now let's send it over to Nate with the weekly grind.
It was after dinner on March 27th, 1964, when Donald Schuler, a member of the Army's 172nd Support Battalion, experienced the largest U.S. earthquake ever recorded. And now I'm fortunate enough to speak with him and his wife as he brushes off the cobwebs recounting his story.
The Army sent me to Alaska in 1964, March 1964. I was there until November of 65. When I was sent there, my MOS, which is a military occupational specialty, was warehouseman. I was on fatigue duty. I was riding on the back of a truck, fell off, broke my leg. And then I was detailed to work in the supply room, and that's where I spent the rest of my tour, in the supply room. The earthquake hit after dinner. It was about 5:30 or 5:45. We were in the barracks, hanging out. Some are playing cards, some are talking, and the earthquake came along. First you get a little bit of noise, a little tiny bit of rattling, and then you hear in the distance like thunder. And somebody yelled, "Earthquake, get out of the building." And I know the telephone poles were whipping back and forth and the wires were bouncing. It's a very curious thing. What I noticed more than shaking or vibrations was the sound. Sound is all around. It's everything in the building is rattling and moving, and it's like thunder. That's the thing that I noticed. The tsunami is what did a lot of damage. The towns along the coast, Homer, Seward, Valdez, Whittier, but downtown Anchorage, there was a block area where the buildings just kind of dropped right into the ground. And there was a car dealership that I remember had some severe damage.
I worked a half a day. I came home after that. I called again, and finally, probably early evening, they said that there were no casualties amongst the military. So that kind of put me a little bit at ease. When Grandpa said he was going to Alaska, I said that was a safe place for him to go, because at that time, around that time, the Vietnam War was starting to escalate. And I figured, oh, he's going to Alaska, he'll be safe. But little did I know that the biggest earthquake that ever hit the United States would hit Alaska only a few weeks after he got there.
Mrs. Kerr is an expert on the subject and has done extensive research of the event.
There was an earthquake in Alaska in the 60s that was 9.2 magnitude. It was the biggest earthquake we've had in North America. It was near Anchorage. It was in the continental plates that are just off of Anchorage. But this was a big subduction earthquake. So in this one, the plates went underneath one another and caused quite a bit of damage. Land changed in height by the magnitude of like 60 feet. It was a significant earthquake to get to 9.2. The actual earthquake themselves can cause quite a bit of damage, especially if we're looking at man-made structures like power plants and roads and homes. Those are going to be damaged, but then they can also cause tsunamis. Tsunamis are when a wave forms as a result of that seismic activity. People refer to them as tidal waves, and that's an incorrect term because it has nothing to do with tides. It has everything to do with the plate tectonics. Closer to the epicenter, you're going to have much more damage. You're going to have, that's where the bulk of the plates are moving, so you'll have more damage in terms of buildings, in terms of infrastructure. Your grandfather mentioned hearing a lot of noise or a lot of sound. You're going to hear those plates moving. You can think of a landslide or a rock slide is going to be loud. In terms of cost for this earthquake in Alaska, they estimate it to be about $110 million, which isn't all that much by this day and age. But you have to remember that was a long time ago, and it's Alaska. So if this same earthquake occurred in Los Angeles, you'd have much more damage to infrastructure because there's so much more population and so much more there. Alaska doesn't have that many people and not that many things, so the cost to repair what was damaged was significantly less. A lot of it is based on the intensity and the location. 15 or so people died as a direct result of the earthquake. The tsunami was more dangerous. About 130 died from that tsunami. Again, had that been in somewhere much more populated, you would end up with much more drastic death tolls than that.
Thanks, Bret. Now let's send it over to Nate with the Weekly Grind.
Hey guys, I'm Nate, and here's your latest for the Weekly Grind. The Voorhees High School PTSO is once again offering graduation signs as a way to help the families graduates to celebrate the seniors' accomplishments and congratulate the entire class of 2018. Click the link below for an ordering info. The 2018 Junior-Senior Prom will be held on Friday, April 27th from 6 to 10 p.m. at the Architect Golf Course in Phillipsburg, New Jersey. The tickets are $85 per person or $170 for a couple, and will be on sale this week from March 26th in the mall area before school and during lunch periods. Park testing will take place on April 18th, 19th, and 20th for math units, and April 23rd, 24th, and 25th for all English language arts units. On these days, all students taking the test must be here at the regular time, and seniors not taking the test must report to school at 10 a.m. Please click the link below for more info on park testing. And speaking of seniors, VHSTV is now taking orders for the 2018 Memories video. For just $25, you'll get the full graduation ceremony and hours of senior-related content, including all Spirit Fest skits, and the class of 2018 has performed from freshman to senior year. Lots of seniors in interviews and a senior tribute music video. All content is in the full HD quality. Click the link below for ordering info. The Voorhees High School Drama Club is performing Footloose, the musical, on April 13th and 14th at 7 p.m. and on Sunday, April 15th at 2 p.m. in the theater. Click the link below for the tickets now on sale. That's all I got for the grind. Have a great week.
Thanks, Nate. Now we know this video has been making the rounds on the Voorhees Facebook page, but just in case you missed it, let's check out the newly reopened library. Possibly the most anticipated aspect of this school year has been the opening of the new Media Center. Today we're going to be taking a look at everything the new Media Center has to offer.
We have an amazing couch, a big S shape. We have multiple areas where kids can work independently or work in small groups, 2 small group study rooms, as well as 2 areas like in 135 where you can meet around a screen. Plug your computers into the screen so everybody can work together. And we have 3 interactive televisions where people can practice presentations and things like that.
With the new additions to the Media Center come rules that may be different from the ones that Voorhees students know.
A big thing is the eating. In the past, because it wasn't carpeted, food was allowed. This time we can't because the carpeting, a ketchup packet or a spilled soda ends up in the carpeting. So the only place we're going to allow beverages is in the cafe, which they're going to have coffee for sale, and that area has a hard flooring, so it'll be better.
A rumor about when students will be permitted to be in the Media Center during the day has been circulating, with many students worried they will not be able to get to see the new Media Center at all this year.
That's not true. Originally it was. They were talking about how to figure out lunch because I can't have 600 kids in here, which is what could happen. So basically everybody's going to be allowed in. During lunch, we're not going to necessarily have the lunch kids come in the study hall or the directed studies. They'll be able to come in, but not lunch students.
We asked Mrs. Edwards if there was anything else kids should know about the Media Center.
No, we're going to be open for business. It's a great new space. It's bright. There's actually has more seating than it had before. And so I'm looking forward to seeing students again.
So Voorhees, if you're looking for a cup of joe or a good read, come check out the Media Center. For Voorhees Now, I'm Luke Martirana.
Thanks, Luke. If you haven't heard about Fortnite, then you must be living under a rock. Everyone's playing, and you could too. Here's the lowdown on our final feature story.
Fortnite has brought all ways of life together in unison over the past month. Not only has it brought old friends together, but it has created friendships that will last forever. If you don't know what Fortnite is, it is a co-op sandbox survival game that is made up of 100 players going at each other. And depending on the mode, a one-person team, a two-person team, or a four-person team can win. Let's see what some people think about the game and their thoughts.
When you're bored and you just want to like do something, just go on Fortnite and just play a few rounds and have a good time.
My favorite part about Fortnite is probably the dance moves. I'm really a big fan of dancing, and when my player can, kind of bust out the moves, it's really cool, I gotta admit.
My favorite part about Fortnite is just being able to play with your buddies. You can play competitively, you can just go and have fun, it's not, and the one thing that's interesting about it is you can get into games very quickly. So if you get killed early, you don't have to wait a long time to get back in the game. So it's really fun, playing with my buddies and having a good time.
I like how there's only, if you're playing solos, I like how there's only one winner. And out of only 100 people, I like how there's only one winner.
Overall, Fortnite has been a huge sensation over the past couple months, and it has brought old friends together and new friends closer. I highly recommend getting this game, and I hope you get a victory royale. For Voorhees Now, I'm Charlie.
And that's all we've got for this episode. We mentioned last week that we'll be giving away a pair of Taylor Swift concert tickets. We haven't forgotten. Those details are coming soon, so stay tuned. Have a great week.